Hi, and welcome back to Kingdom Wealth Creators. Today, we're going to have yet another technical chart analysis session. And I'm going to again talk about how we are accumulating certain stocks, why we are accumulating it, and when do we make those entries based simply on technicals. So, what do we do in a stock market that is on a bull run, right? Right now, the Nifty is almost at 21,500. It's just scaled another new height on Friday. And I think this journey is yet to continue. Along the way, you will see that some stocks will start to reduce their strength and will start to fall down. So, what I'm doing right now is rather than adding more and more stocks, I'm gradually reducing my position in some of them. But certain stocks, when as they do a breakout, I am entering them. But the number of entries is smaller now, and more exits for the last few days because the market is at an all-time high. All right. So, a couple of things that people should note, very important, and I think it is something that everybody should remember is that one, you need to invest. It is important to invest simply because there is something called inflation, and the only way to beat inflation is through investments, right? You won't beat inflation by putting it in an FD. You won't beat inflation by putting it in gold, or you won't beat inflation by buying land because all of these are illiquid, would take a long time to mature, all of those factors that come in. So it is important to invest in the stock market. Secondly, there is no such thing as FOMO because people always are afraid that they might lose out if they don't, invest in a particular stock right now. You should always look to invest by a mechanism called value investment, where you see a good stock that's come down, that is going to increase in value. You would probably invest in that stock. And that's the safest way to invest in the stock market. If you go after every tip that everybody would give you, the chances are that you might end up losing money simply because oftentimes you might enter at the wrong moment. So it's really critical to know which stock to enter, and that is based on stocks being fundamentally strong, and when to enter, when it does a technical breakup. So every healthy stock market will have patterns within them. You will notice that these patterns form in every healthy stock. And so it is important to realize that by observing these patterns, we can decide when to invest in a particular stock. And that's simply what technical chart analysis is. I also add in the fact that I look for good volume. And if volume accompanies technical pattern breakout, then we're good to go. I would probably invest in such a stock. All right. So let me show you some examples of how I invest so that you get a clearer picture of this, right? I have about 55 stocks right now in my portfolio. This is out of about a 500 stock basket that I keep observing. And out of that, I picked up about, uh, 155 stocks over time, right? And if you quickly look at where my portfolio is right now, you will see that we are at about 14% return so far. This is things that I have not booked. There are things that I have booked. So I constantly churn my portfolio. Now let's take a look at the top winners so far. So I have BSC, which is up to 80%, Adani Power to 50%, Adani Green to 30%, Zomato 160%, Adani Enterprises 146, then Parag Mills, MCX, Adani One Energy, all of these are at 100%. Tanla is another one at 90%. And then the list goes on, right? And as you've seen in my previous video, the number of stocks that have given me at least 50% return is almost 7 times the ones that have given me less than 9% losses, right? So that's an immense understanding for you to understand that we can invest properly, right? So let's take a look at the stocks that I'm going to speak about today. I have 4 stocks that I want to talk about. But first, let me talk about Irida. Okay. So Irida, if you notice, when I entered it at 63. Yes, right here at about where this yellow trend line is, this yellow line. And then you would have noticed if you're following me that I have gradually booked out a bit, simply because I see that it's hit a point of resistance. So unless it goes above 123, now we're not looking at adding fresh longs. But probably if it comes down to somewhere here, 75, I might look at 70-ish, I might look at adding more. But as of now, I'm just slowly exiting some of my stock. Slowly, I will give you an overview of where it stands right now. So I had about 1,000 IRIDA stocks that I bought at 63. I've gradually exited some. Even yesterday, I exited some. So today, I'm still sitting on a healthy 71% return, but I booked profits already quite a bit. Okay. So that's where it is. Almost half of it has already been booked at about 110, 120, right? Okay. So that's IRIDA for you. Within, let's see, from the time I made an entry, this was on December 6th, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 week or 7 days, you get 70%. Very good, right? Okay, so let's look at now. I just want to give a disclaimer. Not every stock is going to be like IRIDA. This is probably one of those that really did well very quickly. But if you value invest, gradually you will see the return, right? Okay, so let me talk about a couple of stocks that I'm looking at right now. Yeah. So let me look at the first stock that I want to talk about today, and that is barbecue. Barbecue Nation has been gradually, kind of listless for a while, but there is a long-term trend we're looking at. This is the long-term chart. Barbecue Nation was at 1,924 in November 2021. Since then, of course, you have had a lot of competition come in as well and all of that. But my point being here that it almost looked like it would break out at these levels. So here the thing is, if I were to draw a trend line from here, so what I can see here right now is the fact that one, two, three, four, five, six. These were the mainline resistances, and then you have 7, 8, 9, 10. So on Thursday it broke above, and Friday, even though it came and touched the trend line, it didn't close below. So if it were to break above 685-ish now, looking at a potential. Okay. And that's what I'm factoring in. And I've slowly started accumulating Barbecue Nation. You can see here that there is a potential for it to break higher ground. And we have to see if it breaks down from this. If it breaks down below 640, probably exit. So the next one that I'm looking at is Gujarat Fluorochem. And you can see here, there's tech. This is what a classic trend line would look like. See, there's a resistance here. So then there's a resistance here, and there's a resistance here. So we have basically joined those resistances to get this trend line. So on Tuesday, it broke out. Sorry, yes, on Tuesday, it broke out. I made an entry at about 3,200. It's basically when it broke above this level. This level is where I should mark it. So 3,200-ish levels is when I made an entry. Now, why did I make this entry? Basically, this was an interim resistance. It broke out from here. It broke that interim resistance, came down, took support at that interim resistance, and now it's poised to go up. And there is decent volume also coming in. So I definitely think it's staying above the main trend line. At the same time, broken out above this resistance. Okay, so that means there is potential for it to go up. That's why I made an entry there. The next stock I want to talk about is Paras. Okay, Paras Defense and Space. Now I remember I took an entry in Paras long time back at 500, and I think I exited out somewhere here 700-ish, 770 something. Okay, since then it's kind of made a trend downwards for a while, but now if you look at this pattern, there is a triangle pattern that's broken out of at about 720, and now it is trying to. So I'm positive here. If it stays above 700-ish, it's good to accumulate. And so I've been accumulating it. For us, my accumulation started is roughly at 733 now. Basically, when it broke out from this level, right, on Wednesday. And so that's where I'm looking at. Uh, and I'll probably add some more if I need to. But as long as it stays above 700, because if it does break out and go above, then your next place would be 800. Okay, so the last talk I want to talk about is Sheila Foam. You know, SFL is what it's called in the NSE, but the actual name of the company is Sheila Foam. Now, Sheila Foam, I've entered it before. I think I've entered it at much lower levels, somewhere around 1,000. I entered and I exited on 200. But now You can see here that it's again formed a pattern. There was a huge time of consolidation here for almost uh, roughly a month. I'm going to say 3 weeks. And then when it broke above this level at 1,180 or so is when I entered. It's already at 1,286. So it's made a bit of move since I entered it. But again, that's something that I've been watching. I've entered it. I accumulated at this level because what it did was it broke out from this trend line. Then it went into the zone of accumulation. And that's where I've been accumulating. So my average for Sheila foam is around 1,188. Okay, it's a small cap, so I'm not put a lot of amount in it. But you can see basically the accumulation happened at these levels. Okay? 1,188, 88. So from there, it's gone about 100 points now. And it's given me already an 8% return. I'm continuing to hold this because again, the target is way up. So the previous high, this is 1,372. I need to see how that, if it does break above that, then the next target we get is probably here, 1,450-ish. So these are the stocks that I haven't made a lot of investments in this last 1 week because the market has been breaking up. And I already have a lot of stocks in hand. But what I'm trying to tell you is that there are still stocks that will give us good value investment, and I've basically invested in such. At the same time, I've been more careful to reduce positions in stocks that I've already have a good profit in, and that I've seen a bit of breakdown. Okay. It is not necessarily that they will all completely break down, but it is always good to book profit from time to time. You can always re-enter if you need to. Like I mentioned, Sheila Foam is a stock that I've entered before. I'm re-entering now. Barbecue Nation is something that I've entered before, exited, and now re-entering. So that's a thing that you can do often. Okay, you can. Paras is another one that I entered at very low price, exited good profit, now re-entering again. But that's something that we can all do. Okay, to invest, look for value, and invest accordingly. And no matter where the market is at that point, at the lower point, you tend to invest more. At higher points, you be careful with what you invest freshly. At the same time, try to work out some more profit. All right. So I hope this helped you. You can see from these few examples that I pointed out how technical charts work. But if you still have doubts, you want to learn this, how to do this on your own, please do get in touch with me on my WhatsApp number, which follows, and I will be more than willing to teach you. All right. Thank you so much.